Okay, so today is Thursday, October 23rd, I think, maybe the 24th, the 23rd. Hi, everybody. I'm doing a slightly different. Okay, never mind. I guess I can switch it now. Bahamut was sitting on my lap. I was like, all right, I'm going to go and start recording. I'll put my cat in here because I love my cat and I love to show him off. He's a sweet boy. But, oh, you coming back? You want to be on camera again? Come on. You can come sit. No? Okay. But, good morning. So, sorry, brain was just like, Halloween is in about a week. So is this the last Thursday of the month? But no, Halloween is on Friday. So the 30th will be the last Thursday of the month. Though, to be fair, I don't feel like I have a whole lot to say about what I've done in October. As like I haven't done a whole lot of spooky month stuff. It's mostly like Silent Hill, and that's kind of it. Because I've been trying to catch up on Trails, which I mean, I guess going over my week is a lot of that too. Trails, Silent Hill, like some writing. That's a lot of it. And then there's like I was in California for a couple weeks. Excuse me. But is going to some of the specifics of what I have done as well. Like I said, Trails, I'm very, very close to beating the Skymake. I'm in Gransel. I've completed the tournament, and I've done all like the story stuff at the castle. That's where I'm at, so I'm really close. I've just got the climax and the final dungeon. So, overall, I do really like it. It's one of my favorite games. I think it's a very good remake. I think it keeps the core of what I love about Sky 1, and it modernizes it a bit. Playing it on Nightmare has been an experience. And it's so interesting, because I've said this before, like, I feel like most modern Trails games start pretty rough on Nightmare because you just don't have a lot of options. But once the game starts to open up, the game generally gets a lot easier, with maybe the exception of a fight or two. And sometimes the final boss is not a problem. Sometimes the boss is a huge problem. Kuro and Kuro 2 to me are great examples. Kuro 1, I hate that final boss. Kuro 2, it's kind of a joke. This has been, I don't want to say it, because I don't even want to say it's been consistent. So I'll say this. I feel like normal fights after chapter 1, like after the prologue, have generally been pretty easy. Boss monsters have been hit or miss. I feel like early game, they're a bit more difficult. I think mid-game, there were maybe some that were kind of hard. But generally in the end game, I have not had a problem with them. Human bosses are a different matter. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're manageable, sometimes they are rough. And it mostly comes down to two mechanics. It's the rage boosting and the counter. Because if you're fighting multiple human enemies at once, and you attack Dude A, Dude B and Dude B and Dude C can just say, you know what, I'm going to counter you. It doesn't matter if I'm not standing close to you. It doesn't matter if that guy wasn't standing close to you. Did you cast a spell from 10 years away? I'm going to go over there and I'm just going to bonk you. And it does a good amount of damage. Usually about anywhere from a quarter to more of someone's health. If you have shields up, your shield is canceled. And it's not like, oh, okay, like this is a hit that will always break your shield. It's, no, when they do it, your shield is just gone. Then you take damage. Like, so I can't really use those spells in this kind of fight. That sucks. What was the next problem with it? Oh, I also realized, doing one of the Coliseum bouts, that even if someone, like you do an attack that puts someone at 0 HP, they can still counter you before they die. Like, it's almost like a stack on magic, or it's like, oh, okay, so like I swing for lethal. In response, I swing, or it's like I like tap this, do this and do this damage to you, then I die. I'm like, that's bullshit. As someone who played SC, I hate Kurt. Not Kurt Vander, that's my boy. But Kurt from Sky. I hate this dude. By my arts. But the fight with him here might be worse. Because he has a craft that can just heal everybody. And when he... It's like seems to be a set number every time. And the other bracers were getting about anywhere from like 14 to 18,000. He was getting 20,000 every time. And it's a craft, so you can't impede it. It's not like a charging craft, he just does it. Like, this sucks. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? There's literally nothing I can do. I can do a lot of damage, but... Yikes, man. Like, it was just so frustrating. But I am enjoying myself. I am having a lot of fun. Because generally when a fight gets really hard, I just kind of bang my head against a wall for a bit and then stop, take a break, get back to it, reassess my setup and think, okay, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Let me mess with some stuff. Let me put Estelle in her Neo Bracer outfit and put the mascot head on. Because I really like the Neo Bracer outfit. It's just a nice fit. And just anytime she's wearing the mascot head is just so funny. So the default outfit that I have her in is the Crimson Knight outfit because it just looks really good. Like, I just have her with that and the glasses. It's perfect. It's peak. And then if I'm like, okay, this fight's getting rough, I need to lock in, break, change setup, Neo Bracer outfit, head, and then cook. I kind of hate how well that's been working, but I like that it's been working, so I'll take it. Silent Hill, we haven't really played much the past few days. Clay's been more focused on playing Pokemon, and I'm not gonna fault him for that. But it's been a while, so I'm hoping maybe tonight or over the weekend we can kind of buckle down and play some more Silent Hill. Actually, before I go into that, because that's on the list, I just want to see, were there any other games I wanted to talk about? I don't think so. No. Okay, there weren't any other games. So, the reason I was sighing is because there's a movie that I watched the other day. It was not a horror movie. It is a horrible movie, but it's not a horror movie. It's called Quest for Camelot, which you may or may not be aware of. I've probably mentioned it once or twice on the channel. I don't know if I've ever done a video on it, because I feel very confident that I rewatched it a few years ago. But maybe I didn't. But for whatever, I think it was just because I had the prayer stuck in my head a couple weeks ago. I think it was specifically when I was on the plane coming back home. It was just in my head, which made me think about the movie it's from and how it's not a great movie. It's arguably not a good movie. But it's one I really still enjoy. And I think a lot of it is, number one, I watched it a lot as a kid. I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. But I can acknowledge, yeah, there's a lot that doesn't work. There's a lot of off-model frames. There's this one, because, okay, so I think this one scene in the movie almost kind of explains everything wrong with it. So, Kaylee is in the forest, and she meets Garrett and Aiden. And Garrett has this song called I Stand Alone, which is essentially, he's like, look, I'm cool as hell. I'm the coolest dude you'll ever meet. I don't like being around other people. Part of it is I've lived around other people before, and it just didn't work for me. I don't like the way people treated me because, my blindness. I don't like the way that people look down on me. But also, I can take care of myself. And part of that is I do have a companion in Aiden, but he's like an extension of me, like the way that we work together. I don't really want or need another person here because they will just get in my way. It will just be a problem. I would rather stay alone. And as soon as the song ends, Kaylee just goes, "I stand alone too, you know. Can't we be a team?" All right, fine. What was the point of the last 3 minutes? And that's kind of how most of the songs feel. But, like, after that happened, Clay was just kind of like, what? Like, what was the point? This was so stupid. So he ends up pausing the movie, and it's this frame of Garrett, who, as Kaylee's walking around the forest, and he has to do what he can to save her because she doesn't notice all the things trying to kill her and eat her. And he's got this, like, goop on him, and his face is just like... and the subtitle was just, ugh. It was so funny. I think I was talking to a friend of mine about it, because I sent it to her. I was like, dude, he looks like the Creeper from Scooby-Doo in this frame. It's so good. Ruber is the best part of the movie. Gary Oldman's performance is insane. The character's eyes like constantly twitching. There's this one scene where his eyebrow is like doing the wave. His villain song, like, it's not even really a song. It's a monologue with with music in the background. Like, with this potion I got from some witch. It has Acme written on the potion. Like, what is it? Like, you're mad. I'm so glad you noticed. I've been working on it for years. Like, there's this one scene, like, I don't remember what, like, Kaylee and Garrett are doing, but they're doing something. And then just cuts to Ruber, who, like, takes his hand and puts it in some hot coals. And she's like, when I get my hands on that girl, I'm gonna... And then it just cuts right back to him. Like, there was no point to that. There was no point to that cut. But I'm glad it was there because it's such a deranged, like, 8 seconds. I have a list of horror movies, like Halloween-ish movies that I wanted to watch this month. Like, I want to rewatch House. I'm tentatively planning a Halloween party, just with the boys, and I really hope we can watch it there. Nightmare Before Christmas, which is, of course, always acceptable to watch during Christmas instead. Coraline, because I've not watched Coraline, I think, since it came out. And I remember seeing it in theaters and being kind of excited for it and just not getting into it. But I really do think if I rewatched it, I'd be like, no, I was dumb. This movie rules. I really want to watch The Monkey. I've heard of it before, and I watched a video about it yesterday. I'm like, this looks fun. This looks really just insane and like the kind of movie I would enjoy. Honestly, that might make a fun double feature with House. I think there were a couple... Oh, I still want to watch the Suspiria remake, especially because I didn't get to it last year. There might be one or two others. Like, I had a solid little list of horror movies. I just have not watched any of them, but I watched Quest for Camelot. I think I did mention writing earlier. I've finished another round of the manuscript editing, and I think it's the last one. I had said before, which, how many times have I said this? Or it's like, I think this is the last one, I think I'm done. Because the last time I did it, like, I just kind of read through it, and it was really smooth, really easy. It's like, I think I'm good, but I'm glad I gave it this last pass, because I did notice some typos. Like, oh, like, there's a sentence, or excuse me, like, there's a period missing. Oh, there the quotation marks are facing this way instead of this way. There was one where, I don't remember exactly what the line is, but it's something along the lines of, it's like, I can't resist being arrested because they have every right to do it. It's something like that. But the way it was actually written was like, I can't arrest being arrested. It was like, oh, I just put the wrong word. There's like a few moments like that, but they do add up. I'm glad I caught them. There might still be some I didn't catch, but yeah, I caught a decent amount that made me think I'm really glad I gave it this extra pass. I think I also mentioned there are just a few like lore things where I was like, I feel good about this, but I kind of want to double check, like really sit and think about it, because this was written, in mind with an older version of the book. Like, I guess just kind of like the story and the idea as a whole. Does this idea still add up with where I'm at now? Yes. What about this? Yes, but I should change some details just to be sure. Things like that. And I'm happy with that because I like trying to make things more keep them internally consistent. That's a good thing. But I think now there's just some technicalities I need to. It's not technicality. It's more like logistics that I need to work out, because I think I'm done with the manuscript. And I say that like I'll probably look at it one more time, but genuinely, I think we're good. In terms of like, I have not touched Isla in a bit. I'm sorry. Like I've been working on this other one, and then with Severance, we did get another CG done, so we have 2 CGs. There's a lot of art throughout the script. It's going to be a process, but at the very least, we have started the process. We're going. I have no idea when this whole thing will be done. Because even that, I know I'm going to have to look at the script once more, maybe even twice. But I at least know that there won't be any substantial, knock on wood, but there shouldn't be any substantial changes to that script. It'll mostly be checking for typos, just any lore inconsistencies, and just like, does it read well? Does it feel a bit, I don't know, maybe like overly verbose or just like kind of clunky? Is there a way I can make some of these sentences flow better, a bit smoother? Survivor, because I actually watched Survivor last night. I think this is the first time this season I have deadass watched an episode on a Wednesday. And I will say, I think it's been my favorite of the season so far. Like maybe the first episode or so, but I feel like I've been saying every week, I'm just not feeling this season yet. Like the season's boring, and I think this is the first episode I watched where I didn't feel that. And not to say that anytime I'm watching this, I'm like, man, I'm so bored. Like this sucks, but a lot of it is just, I don't feel a lot of strong connections to the cast, and it's not that this episode changed a whole lot in that regard. There are some characters, and I'm like, oh, okay, it feels weird saying that about real people. The only time I don't feel weird saying this is one of my favorite characters about a real person is Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA, because Chuck is just such an entertaining dude. Like, this is one of the greatest television characters of all time, and it's just a dude being himself, because he's that naturally funny. I'm so glad Inside, I'll talk about sports here in a sec. I'm so glad Inside is back. Anyways, what was I saying? Survivor. I think this was the first episode where I felt actually invested in what was happening. Because it's been like, blue loses, blue loses, blue loses. And I feel like I understand the tribe. I understand the tribe dynamic well enough that I'm not that concerned about who's gonna go home. I just know what's gonna happen. The tribe swap was like, okay, this is more interesting now. Let's see what happens. So last week definitely felt closer, but even then I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel as connected to Matt or Jason. I don't dislike them, but I'm not on the edge of my seat. But I think part of it is also, it's like there's seemingly no real fraction or like cracks in this Uli group. Like Jawan's on the bottom, like he's on the bottom. We as the viewers know he's clearly on the bottom, but he's like, nah, I'm super good, I'm super tight, like I have no reason to try and pull anything. Like, which granted, even if he had tried in the previous episode, it would have been 3-on-4. And like Sophie seemed very close to Savannah, and Rizzo and Nate, I don't think we're gonna flip. At least not at that point. So like that wouldn't have gone anywhere. But it's this episode felt more interesting. And a lot of it was just everything going on Kella with Shannon and Sage. Shannon is playing hard. She's coming up with strategy. She's talking to everyone. She's making a lot of connections with everyone. And then you've got Sage in the background going, this is so fake. This is so transparent. She is playing she's like, yeah, like, everyone thinks she's like this cute little seal. Like, she's a shark, dude. Do you not see the giant fin coming out of her back? And then Sage being like, all right, guys, Shannon's gone. Let me say some shit. I want to work with y'all. I think she's fake. I am happy to vote her out. And then here's my, like, real olive branch. Rizzo has the idol. This is the thing he had to do to get it, and because they've lost, like, immunity twice, I'm pretty sure he's got it. And then you got MC going, that's, like, the thing he had to do to get his idol is the exact thing I'm gonna have to do to get mine, which corroborates what she's saying, and I already don't really trust Shannon, but this makes me really trust Sage. I'm like, okay, like, we've got something interesting going on, because people really like Shannon, and want to work with her, but don't know how much they trust her. But people don't super seem to vibe with Sage, but now they seem to trust her more. That's an interesting dilemma. I'm like, I kind of want to see how that gets resolved. And on the other tribe, between Jason and Jawan, something kind of similar. It's like, well, if we keep Jason, we keep someone from Hina. And he has made it very clear that he's Hina strong. So we should just get rid of him. But if we do, it's going to pretty much make it impossible to work with people from the other tribe, because they're like, well, you took out 2 of our people. Clearly it's us against you, which was kind of a thing we've been talking about anyways. But if you've taken out 2 of our boys in a row, now there's just no hope of working together. It's over. Do we really want to do that? Because we kind of like to be able to work with some of these other people, because it's Survivor, that's kind of what you gotta do. But also, if we cut one of our own, you know, it's like, hey, you know, we don't have to, it's not a, like, us versus you thing. You know, we can all work together, which is great. We want to have that vibe. But that is one less number for us. And I'd kind of rather not have that happen. But at the same time, it is Jawan. We don't really like him. At least Savannah doesn't really like him. Rizzo's like, nah, like, I like this dude. Like, he and I are super cool together. But she's like, I just don't like him. I kind of want him gone. And it would open things up with the other tribe. And he is the most likely to flip. And then, you know, anytime it cuts to Jawan, he's like, no, like, I'm super loyal. Like, you know, other people are coming to me saying, you're on the bottom, let's do shit. I'm like, no. And that, to me, is also genuinely interesting. It's like, no, I could really see them saying, let's open up the game and let's cut loose, like, the person that we don't really need anymore. What I find... Sorry, I actually don't remember what I was going to say there. let me try to, like, calibrate my brain again. I think what I was going to say is, number one, I just find it interesting whenever you have someone who An alliance will say, I don't know about this person. I don't think they're very loyal. I think they'll flip on us. And anytime you see that person in a confessional or conversation, all they're saying is like, no, like, I love my tribe. Like, I'm going to stay loyal to us. Like, I specifically remember the Reba 4. What was that? 44, 45, somewhere in there. And it was J Maya. Because it was D. Was it Julie? I think Julie was D's, like, number one. And J Maya were the 3 women on Reba. J Maya thought they had like a really strong alliance. Like, yeah, like we're a tight 3. The girls are gonna stick together and all that. Like, we're gonna go far together. And the Rebas are all like, we can kind of cut her at any time. Like, hey, like here's what we'll do. Let's cut her at the merge, like the Murgatory. Like, we can cut her here, which everyone ended up doing Caleb, and then the shot in the dark thing, which was awesome. It's like, yeah, let's cut her. Because if we do, number one, we don't have to worry about her flipping, and we think she will, and she had no intention of doing so. But if we cut her, it makes it seem as if the game's open. Like, we are not Reba strong at all. This is an individual game. But in reality, we have a tight 4 alliance. We're just trying to make it seem like we don't. Which is a really good strategy. Like, what is it? I think it's Peridium or Peridium. It's a channel that does a lot of Survivor stuff. And I believe what he called it is the intentional mat sink, which is the tribe with like Denise and Malcolm from Philippines, and other people like Russell. But the idea is, and it's something I've really noticed in the new era, is there's usually a tribe that just sucks from the start and gets like heavily decimated. But once you get that down to your like 2 or 3 people, maybe even a 1 person, shout out Stephanie, but once you get the tribe whittled down, you realize a couple things. Or I guess let me put it like this. The other tribes generally won't see you as a threat, because they'll be like, that tribe has a lot of numbers. I have a lot of numbers. Here's the 1 or 2 other people. They're not the biggest threat, so we need to absorb them into us to take out them. And basically everyone's vying for you, giving you all the power you want. Also, when you do that and you essentially cut the fat of your tribe, it makes the people, at least theoretically, it makes the people who are still together a lot tighter. Because y'all know we can trust each other because we've been through the fire. We've had to put pen to paper and see which bonds actually matter. And we stuck together. We've been through a lot. I know I can trust them. I know they've got my back. We're a tight team. And I don't have to worry about, well, we're a 4, but we have a 5th person here and they might flip. Let's take care of that so that doesn't happen. Or, we're a 4, but we're really a 3. We just needed someone else for the numbers. And if they find out, if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. Sorry, I love A Bug's Life. I love Hopper's monologues. Anyway, but it's maybe we should take care of that problem now. I always just find that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. And that's what was kind of happening in that tribal, or, that's what was going on with Uli. Hina, but with Uli, is do we do that and cut one of our own? Maybe we don't seem as tight as we are. Maybe it, kind of opens things up a bit. Because also one thing I've noticed is when you look at Hina and Uli, Hina seems like it's a collection of people. Steven and MC are all right, we're number ones, we're really close. I just have not seen almost any content from Sophie. Or is it Sophia? Because I think there's 2 Sophies. There's one with an I, one with an E. And then there's the one who we got a lot from, which is from Kella. Then there's the other one from Hina, who I just have not seen much from. But I also remember a few seasons ago, I was like, dude, I have seen like nothing from Rachel. I forget she's on the season. And then come the merge, like dominant performance. And then there's Christina, who I've seen like a decent amount of, and I've seen quite a bit with her and Shannon, and that's endeared me to Christina a lot. But I mean, like, mostly in terms of the bonds, it seems that it's Steven and MC are close, and it seems like Christina's kind of in with that too. But there's not like super tight alliances versus Uli, where there is a 4, which Shannon might not be able to participate depending on what happens next week, and like Sage is gonna flip. So it's at the very least right now a 3, and also Jawan, who thinks he's in it, but you're never know. But the alliances seem theoretically tighter over there, and then you have Kella with Sophie and Alex, who are like, well, both of our number ones was someone else who got bitten by a snake, so I guess we're super tight now. Because I still don't really know. Because even when Sophie voted Jeremiah, it seemed less of because I'm choosing to go with Alex, and because we're super tight, and more of, you know, if he plays his idol and Jeremiah throws a vote on me, or it's like he he plays his idol, but like he votes for Jeremiah. Like I don't want to screw things up. Let me just do the safest thing possible, and less of I want to work with him. So like when they get back to the merge, I really don't know if it'll be like, no, like we're super, like we are good, we are tight because we went through a lot together, or if it's more of a, so I've been ingratiated into this tribe. Like her spot is higher than Jawan's right now in Uli. It's like, I'm good here, so, bye, Alex. I really don't know. But, this was, I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but, I felt like this episode was a lot more interesting because it felt like, no, there's a lot more complexities going on, and we're seeing more strategies. We're seeing the way that some of these relationships are or almost aren't playing out. As people have been kind of saying, like this episode and the last episode too, no, like we're actually able to play Survivor now. Like there's a game happening. I'm like, oh, cool. Now it's getting more interesting. And speaking of games, so this will kind of be the last thing I talk about for it's just sports. Excuse me. I have a very eclectic taste when it comes to the sports teams I root for. Like in our 4 major American sports, none of my 4 teams are from the same state. NFL, I'm a Saints fan. NBA, I'm an OKC fan. MLB, I'm very, very casual when it comes to baseball. And I mean, like, it's hard for me to say or know who my team is, but I feel like there's generally 2 teams that I tend to kind of root for. Number 1 is the Cubs, and that's, I mean, a lot of it's like the Back to the Future joke, but they just kind of have that reputation as like the lovable losers, like they're never going to get anything, they've been cursed, which made me kind of gravitate toward them and hope they win, and then they did, and it was really cool, like I was happy to see it. And then after that, I felt a bit less attached. And it was just like, no, it's like, I'm glad it happened. Like, I'll still root for them. But I don't know if I really am a Cubs fan. But the other team that I tend to root for is the Blue Jays. And that's, you know, around that same time when I was, like, actually watching, like, baseball and baseball playoffs. There was this play, I think it was the ALDS between the Blue Jays, I believe the Rangers. It was like game 5, game 6. Well, it's ALDS. That doesn't go to 6. That maxed out at 5. So it was like a game 4 or game 5. I think it was a deciding game. And the Blue Jays, I believe they hit a walk-off home run. And the player, I want to say his name was like Jose Bautista, but I don't know if that's correct. It feels correct. Like he hits the home run and he watches it and he just tosses the bat. And I remember that. I was like, that was kind of sick. Like I really liked that. That was cool. And it stuck with me. And I've kind of always liked the Blue Jays after that. And then there was one year where I was like, because like I don't remember exactly what year this was, where I thought to myself, what teams have won the championship the year that I was born? And like I was kind of looking across the major sports, and one thing you realize, like, well, the problem with that is a season tends to go into 2 years. Like basketball starts in October, ends in June. So, am I looking for the team that won the championship the year that I was born? Or the season, like the season started the year that I was born? Because those are two different things. Football is similar. Most of it is played in like the summer months, but the winter months. But then it is finished the following year. Hockey is something similar. I'm like, so how do I want to play that? Baseball, though, is the only one where it's like, look, the season is that year. And the team that won the World Series the year I was born was the Blue Jays. I'm like, okay, I kind of like that. And it's the one sport where that's pretty clean. So I think I'm going to root for this team. Like, I'm still very casual, very off and on. Like, I could not tell you a single player on the Blue Jays, I'm sorry. Okay, no, that's not true. Because, like, following the playoffs, like, there are a few names I've, like, recognized. Varsho in particular. And, like, this dude always seems to get on base. But, as a result, like, I am a Blue Jays fan. Very casual, but I'm a Blue Jays fan. So, seeing the team that I root for get to the World Series, it's pretty neat. It happening the same year that my NBA team, and that is my team, I am a Thunder fan, finally got it done, is really cool and really exciting. Then we get to hockey. So I say it every year, this is the year I'm going to get into hockey, and every year I don't. But then it's like with baseball, where I'm like, yeah, I will kind of follow the season, but not watch any games. And then when the playoffs start, I'm like, oh, okay, like playoff hockey's awesome. Like I'm going to watch this, or I'm going to listen to like live streams as the games go on. And I didn't have a team. And then the Vegas Golden Knights were an expansion team. Like, okay, this is perfect. There's a new team. Let me say that this is my team. I will get invested. Oh, they're immediately good. This is awesome. And so, like, that was the team I, like, really followed. A few years ago, it was, I think it was the 22-23 season? 22, and then 23-24. Yeah, it would be the 22-23 season. I was listening to, like, you know, like, playoff commentary and all that. And I felt really attached to the Florida Panthers. And the reason for that was they were a team that barely squeaked by into the playoffs. They were the 8th seed in their conference. And I think they, like, a couple other teams had to lose for them to get it. I think it was the Penguins and I want to say the Sabres, but I'm like, no, the Sabres never make the playoffs. So I don't even know if they were that close to getting it anyways. But there was like 2 teams that had to lose for them to sneak in, and they did. It was a very by the skin of their teeth. And for their first round matchup, they were playing the Boston Bruins, who that year basically set the record for being the best team ever. They had I think it was the most wins, the most points, like the fastest team to 50 points, the fastest team to 100 points, all of this. Like, this is going to be one of the single greatest teams to ever play in the NHL. And the Panthers were down 3-1. But they won a game to survive. They won another game to tie the series. And then in Boston, in overtime, they pulled it out. And it was a huge upset. Then the next round, they played Toronto. And they got it done. And then the conference championships, I don't know why I made that plural, but they played Carolina. And they got it done. And this team that barely squeaked by made it all the way to the chip. And who did they play but the Vegas Golden Knights? And even though I was like, okay, there's a new team, this is a perfect way to get attached, perfect, like, kind of entry into hockey, I've got my team, I ended up rooting for Florida in that series. They lost. The Knights got the cup. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I should be happy, but I'm not. I think I became a Florida fan. And then the following year, Florida got it done. It was Florida at Edmonton. They were up 3-0. They lost the next 3. Decisive Game 7. Florida took it. And I felt excited when that happened. And then this year, same matchup, Florida at Edmonton. And Florida got it done. Like, okay, that's 2 straight wins, 3 straight appearances. So I don't know if that's the rat trick or not. Maybe they actually need to win it 3 in a row. But I'm like, okay, I think I do have my team. And it's like, yeah, I guess I'm bandwagoning, but a lot of it is like, it's not them getting all the way to the finals and winning. It was just the crazy Cinderella run they had made me really like this team. Then they ended up winning the next couple. But, like, so, my NBA team won a chip this year. My NHL team won a chip this year. It was their, second in a row. My MLB team is in the World Series. Well, how's my NFL team doing? Oh, the Saints are 1-6. We are contenders for the number 1 overall pick. And 2 of our last 3 games are against the Jets and the Titans, which will basically decide tank pool. Like, well, I guess this is why. Like, this is why my other teams are doing well. I'm like, look, man, you're gonna need this with what's going on in the States. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Kind of wanted to share that. I mean, I guess talking about the NFL in general, it's like I don't know what's going on this season. It's one of those seasons where, like, I can't really point to who the dominant teams are. Like, I know who's good. Like, the Lions I know are really good. Like, the Chiefs seem to have really gotten their swagger and mojo back. But I mean, like, the Colts are 6-1. But if I were to say, like, who's going to win the Super Bowl, I don't think I would be that confident picking anyone. I would probably still default to the Chiefs because, look, this is a team that's been there, done that. They're good every year. They're consistent every year. They're in the AFC Championship every year, in the Super Bowl almost every year. And even though some of these other teams look good, like, okay, Buffalo is flawed. The Patriots are good, but that's a very young team, and I don't know how much I trust that against the Chiefs. The Steelers are a very old team, and I don't know how much I trust that against the Chiefs. Sorry, my brain was blanking for a moment. Like, the Colts, like, it's a really good team, but I don't know. Like, it's not even that I'm like, man, I really see the weaknesses or I doubt them here. It's just, I've seen a lot of good AFC teams these past few years look really good on one or both sides of the ball, and then they play Kansas City in the playoffs, and the Chiefs manage to win anyways. I don't think I can bet against this team, like, in general, especially when the offense is clicking the way it has the past few weeks. I think the last, 4 or 5 games, they've put up 30 every time, if not more. Yikes. And then in the NFC, like, okay, the Lions are really good, the Bucks are good, but they also just got trounced by the Lions. And it is one of those where it's like, yeah, when a team only plays close games, aside from when they get their asses kicked, it shows grit, heart, determination. It also shows that you're not really putting anyone away, and, like, you're 5-1, you could theoretically be 0-6 if, like, any of those drives didn't go the way they did. But they did go the way they did, so you got to give them their flowers. Oh, it's like the Vikings a few years ago, where, like, they won every one-score game they were in, but then one wanted it in the playoffs. But like last year, the Chiefs won every one score game they were in and then went to the Super Bowl, where they did not do well. Like the Eagles. Like the Eagles, I know are a good team. They're not super clicking right now, but even last year, like they didn't look great the first few weeks, and then they just kind of hit a point where they said, okay, we figured it out, and then literally didn't lose. The Rams are still good. The 49ers aren't healthy at all, but they're still 5-2. Like even then, it's like there's good teams here, but some of them do have like these notable flaws or like kind of weirdness about them. But even still, like I think the Eagles could probably beat anyone in the NFC. I think the Lions could probably beat anyone in the NFC. I just don't know who's going to win in that particular game. Like, I mean, obviously any given Sunday, but with real confidence, you know? And then there's like Broncos Giants, which is one of the wildest things I've ever seen. 33 points in the quarter. It was what, 26-8 with 5.5 left, and they won that. I think I just like the way I saw it described at one point was the Giants were up 19-0 at the end of the third quarter and scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They still lost in regulation. That doesn't happen. Like, yeah, it doesn't. And I feel like in general, a 3-score lead at the start of the fourth quarter is not safe. It's good. It looks nice. So like on average, I would expect a team to get about 3 possessions in a quarter. So like you're up 20-0, it looks good. But if you aren't doing anything on your offensive or defensive possessions, and then the other team is, that lead can evaporate quick. But like, okay, you're up 3 scores, and then you got a couple touchdowns. Okay, you should be fine. What do you mean you lost? What? But hey, first 2 touchdowns they scored, 8 points and 8 points. Had to do it for 88. And like he was 33 when he passed. They put up 33 points. I just think there's something kind of cool about that. It was a game like they had to win for DT, and they won it for DT. I think that's awesome. But I think that's about it. So, actually, what does that say? Oh, that's just World Series. I'm gonna head out. Or is I'm gonna end this. I have a plan for today. It was like me and my buddy are gonna try to go see Tron. So I guess let's talk about that just super quick. So last year, it might have been earlier this year, but I think it was last year. Yeah, it was because I listened to the Daft Punk albums last year. I watched the first 2 Tron movies with my friends. I'd never seen the first one. I'd seen the second one before. Because they were both like, yeah, like we're interested in these. Like, I really want to go see the new one when it comes out. And then one of my friends, after seeing them, was like, look, I didn't really like them that much. I don't think I'm going to see the new one. And I'm hearing nothing but bad things about it. I'm out. And my other friend was like, I enjoyed the first one a lot. I didn't really like the second one. But I like 9 Inch Nails. So I'd be down to watch the new one for that soundtrack. You're like, okay. Because I'm not expecting a good story with this, but I'm expecting a good cinematic experience. Like, I am expecting absolute cinema with just the visuals and the audio. And it's like an Avatar movie. I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a good story. I don't think Way of Water was a good story. I thought Way of Water kind of sucked. But I enjoyed watching it because the visuals are just that good. I think I described Way of Water as like, this is a 3-hour amusement park ride. And yeah, there's points where I'm thinking to myself, I've been on this ride for a good while. I think I want to get off. But then something neat happens. I'm like, oh, you jingled some keys in front of my face. Thank you. But I feel like I'm gonna enjoy watching Tron, but I'm probably not gonna like the story very much. And then I'll just take the pen out, to tie it back to another movie, Quest for Camelot, because I was talking to my mom about it. Or, so something Clay had said. He's like, I think this movie is just kind of like jingling keys in front of your kid. Like, there's nothing particularly bad about it, but like it's just kind of bad. I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, "No, like I remember that. I remember you and your sister watched that movie a lot. You guys loved it, and I didn't get it. Like I didn't think it was very good, but even your nephew, like he really loved putting that movie on. Like I don't know, there's just kind of something about it that I do think kids really like. And I'll be honest, I think it's a little bit more than just jingling keys. I think it's because like there's a lot of adventure in the movie. Like there's these like cool locales and these set pieces. There's this really creepy, weird looking villain. There's these cool monsters. And it's like actually watching it, yeah, a lot of the script doesn't work and some of like these plot points and these character beats don't work. But as a kid, I'm not as focused on that. I just like seeing the adventure play out. And that's really cool and really fun. And I guess in a sense, that's kind of what I'm looking for with Tron. And like, I don't think this is all going to work, but I want to have a good time with the experience. And I'm hoping that I do. So, see ya, like, and enjoy this last week and some change of October.